Hey guys, good morning and welcome to the Bates House. So today I'm coming at you with a really fun video. I reached out to several ladies in the YouTube community and they are thrifters, and we are going to be answering a lot of the commonly asked questions of thrifters. So it's just going to be a fun way to allow you to kind of get to know our brains better and understand our thought processes when we are out finding treasures and pieces, and why do we do it, when did we start doing it, what do we do with the stuff, and all that good curiosity piqued things. So there are 15 questions that I'm going to be answering for you today. One of them is for us, and then 14 is a lot of the most commonly asked questions that we got. So everyone's channel will be linked down below for you guys. You can go and check out their videos and channels and content and playlists and all that good stuff. If you like what you see, you can go ahead and subscribe. Tell everybody hi. Let them know who sent you. If you're here from someone else's channel, welcome. If you are interested in joining my transition period in life, go ahead and subscribe. If you like this video at the end, you can subscribe. Give it a big thumbs up. You can also go over and check out everyone else's videos and give them some love as well, just for the simple fact that they're willing to put themselves out there and make, give everybody a little bit more insight into who they are, what they are, why they do what they do, and so on. So that being said, we are going to dive in with our 14/15 questions into the mind of a thrifter. Number one is, what made you start thrifting and why do you still do it now? So I started thrifting when I was young. I was a young mother, I was broke, and we had to do what we had to do, right? My mother always liked really nice things. She would change up her home decor at least once a year. And I'm not talking about just like halfway. I'm talking about go all out. I remember the biggest theme that she had at one point was mother of pearl, oriental, everything. Like these glamorous coffee tables with glass tops and mother of pearl images, and these room dividers and big old planter vases with the mother of pearl designs on the side, and she went all out. But there were things that she was not willing to spend her money on. So in comes the thrift store. Even though she liked really nice things, she was always a bargain hunter. She still is to this day. We enjoy deal shopping a lot. We were in couponing together and all of that. That's basically how this whole community started here, having a lot of support from the coupon community when we first started the channel. Hence, coupon to provide, right? So her being a deal finder was the opening doorway for me to walk through and want to do the same. And when I start to realize that you can have really nice things at a fraction of the cost and you don't have to break them in, and they actually have that little bit of like already used character, that's what drew me in. Because I'm not a fan of polished and brand new and squeaky clean. That's not my thing. I love things to look like they've been loved. And for someone else to take the time to do that and actually pay the initial cost or invest the initial cost of getting that thing out into the world, and then one day I can find it, that's the biggest part of it. So thrifting, I started thrifting because I was broke and I was a young mother and I couldn't afford much. And I do it now because I started to see that as we became more stable, I wanted to be more selective about where my money went and who I was willing to give it to and what I was willing to give it up for. I'm not willing to give up my money. Sorry, I'm more concerned about the financial future of our family, of our home, of, things that are more important. So to me, it doesn't make sense to go out and pay 4 times the cost when I can get it at a fraction. So that is why I still thrift now. Question 2, what are your top 3 stores you like to thrift at? So I actually have 3 stores that I like to thrift at. I love Goodwill, Pennywise, and Value Village. So Goodwill is probably the most common in the city area. Say hi. Okay. There's been about 75 interruptions to this video and I'm only on question number 2. So let's see how the rest of this goes. So question number 2, what are your top 3 stores you like to thrift at? So I have 3 different stores that I like to thrift at. Goodwill, Pennywise, Value Village. Everywhere I go now is a commute, because we live outside of the Katy area, which is outside of the Houston area. Katy is not as big at all in any way, shape, or form as Houston. So it doesn't take long to get through there and get into the Houston area. long story short, I have to be selective about where I go to now. So I usually stay in the Katy area because it takes me anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes to get to the gym every morning. And then in the morning, after I'm done with the gym, if I have time, I'll go through and I'll branch out into a certain area. So in that area, I have Pennywise and Goodwill. Pennywise is a nonprofit for domestic violence victims, and they offer a lot of deals and a point system. So that is really awesome, and I really do think that Goodwill should pick up on something like that, but they don't. Not in this area. I know in other states there's like other ways you can get deals or whatever on products, but you can't do that at, you know, here in these Goodwills. So Pennywise, for every $5 that you spend, you get a free item off the free table, which could be anywhere from junk to like really nice treasure finds. Also, for every 100 points you get $5 off of your transaction of $5 or more, so you could go in there and just pay tax one day if you wanted to. On top of that, you can buy a purple bag from the store, which is a one-time fee of $3, and every Thursday you take that bag into the store. Anything you can cram into that bag is 50% off. So that is awesome because you find some really cool pieces in that store and it totally makes it worth it. And the dish prices are so affordable. Like, for example, drinking like wine glasses, coffee mugs, they're 25-50 cents, and then you take them, you get them on that day and they're 12.5 cents for a glass. I found vintage light blue wine glasses and tumbler glasses for 25 cents. I got them on that day in the bag. They were 12 cents a piece, guys. Like, you can't go wrong with that. Also, they used to have a dollar day. Now they don't. Now they have a dollar section where they kind of filter out pieces that don't sell over a certain amount of time, and they'll cut it straight down from like $8 to $1. It's awesome. I got a pottery mini crock, and it was $10 for the longest time. Then they marked it down to $8, and then it went straight into the dollar section, and I got it. I was so happy about that. Goodwill has different sale cycles. So Monday through Wednesday, they have a certain color that is 30%, and then on Thursday to Sunday, that same color goes from 30% to 50%. So for the full week, or for the full rest of the week, it'll be 50% off with that color tag. And then they have a 75% off color, which everything in the store that has that color tag is 75% off, so you can get some awesome deals for pennies. But that's about, they have different like different deal days where first responders get a certain percentage off. I think teachers do, and then senior citizens and all this other stuff. So they do offer different offers, but you have to specifically be in that category in order to get that additional percentage. Plus, Goodwills are so much bigger. I don't know, they're so commonplace in so many different areas that they have so much quantity, and sometimes it's really hit or miss with pricing. Sometimes it'll just be like crazy, like what are y'all thinking? And then it'll be like, oh, this is awesome. But the good part is that there's so much variety that you're bound to find something cool and interesting. Now, Value Village, I love to go to Value Village. It's a way further drive for me now. It's like 45 minutes to get out to King Dollar, and I go there, well, I try to go there week to week because I do some social media promotion for them. But when I'm out there, I make a stop at Value Village because it's right down the street. And so I kind of make a day out of it. Value Village always has really cool offers online on Facebook group, like 50% off coupons of your entire transaction, which is amazing because you go from spending 40 bucks to 20 bucks and then your tax is knocked down and stuff. So that's awesome. But what I like about that one is that it's in a very congested area, and the market out there seems to be that people want the more modern stuff. They want the newer stuff. They want the Michaels and the Hobby Lobbies and the Cracker Barrel and the Crate and Barrel or whatever, you know, Bed Bath & Beyond. They want those products. So all the older, more dingy, more, you know, used and loved stuff that's got, you know, caked on layers of dust and debris, those things just kind of stay sitting, and those are my favorite pieces. So I like that store because it's always turning over so fast, but the older stuff just kind of hangs out. So you're more likely to find something that you really like when it comes to vintage pieces. So that's my last favorite store, which would probably be my first store if it was closer, but it's not. So there's that. Finally, moving on to question number 3. Can you explain the feeling you get when you find a treasure? Yes, I can. It is, okay, so when you find
something, it's like your eyes like widen and you're just like, yes.
When I find a treasure, it feels exciting and my brain automatically starts to think, where could I put it? Where would I put it? What can I do with it? Is it the style that I want, or will I have to DIY it? It's, you know, just a lot goes through my mind at that time. And if it's something that I could totally see working in somehow, you know, some aspect of my life, I'm all for it. Which kind of puts me into question number 4. Can you explain the feeling you get when you decide not to get something? Yes. Because the first thing I look at, if it's something that I really like, all those emotions and thoughts go through my mind. But the moment I lift the bottom or look at the price tag, if it is not a price point I am willing to pay, which I call my purchase price, absolutely not. I will not pay it. I don't negotiate with myself. There's only very few instances where I'll negotiate with myself. If it's something that I feel like I'm not willing to pay, then I really have to start evaluating, like, do I want it? And when I say not willing to pay, like, I don't like paying more than $1.50 for things, or $3 for something like awesome. Like, I found this really big bamboo brass vintage bar cart tray. It was awesome, and it had like natural patina, and it was just beautiful. And they resell for, you know, $35 to $75. I saw it in a cart one day and I picked it up, $3. Yes, I'll take it. You know, you have something that's got all this weight and it's beautiful, and you know it has age to it, and it's a real genuine, like, good quality piece. Yeah, $3 all day. But if it's like a smaller piece and it's just kind of something that I feel like I could find in so many other varieties for 90 cents one day, then no, $3 is way too much. It's way more than what I'm willing to pay. When I decide not to get something, the price is usually the first thing that goes through my mind to say, no, I don't want it. Now, the second thing is if the price is good, am I going to keep it for myself? If I'm going to keep it for myself, I don't mind a little bit of damage. I don't mind a little bit of chipping or something, or like in not noticeable areas and stuff like that. Even some things that are broken, I can live with because I feel like it's given it a new life. But if it's something that I'm going to resell, then I have to really consider, do I want to sit there and have to justify why someone should buy it when it's got this damage or whatever. So that will also be another determining factor on will I buy it, yes or no. And if it's something that I feel like is too obvious or kind of devalues the piece, then no, my decision is going to be a no. Moving on to number 5. Do you care about pieces being dirty? No, I do not. The only problem with dirty pieces is that sometimes you miss the little things that actually wind up being big things. I shared this not too long ago on my Instagram where I found some really adorable pieces, but you don't really get to see, you know, like the pores of the piece until you start going through the cleaning process, the sanitation process, and all that. So, for example, I found a really cute coffee mug. It was absolutely adorable, and I knew somebody would love it. I think I might have jinxed it a little bit because I loved that mug, and it was going to be one of the harder things to let go of, especially me because I have a coffee mug collection. I love coffee mugs, and I love all things coffee, and this thing said coffee, and it was a mug, and it was absolutely adorable and vintage and all this stuff, right? So I was cleaning it, I washed it, and I was sanitizing it by using 91% alcohol, and I was going through and getting off any grime, anything, because it takes everything off. I was going through and getting all that stuff off, polishing it up, and trying to get it as clean as possible, and I noticed there was a crack. And under all the little, you know, surface grime, you don't know that until you start going through, and the crack was so fine that there was no way to see it through the dirt. But once I pulled it a little bit, you could see the gap, and I was like, oh no. So I don't care about pieces being dirty as far as cleaning them and kind of breathing new life into them and seeing how they transform and how they become this dingy little piece into this incredibly, like, gorgeous character piece until I find something broken, and then that really sucks. So no, I don't care, but yes, I do, because you can't see the damage. And then I got my hopes all high and I fell in love with it. Well, actually, I mean, I get to keep it because I use it as a toothpick holder now, but that's not the point. I wanted to pass on that feeling to someone else, and I couldn't do that. Which leads into question number 6. Do you care about pieces having damage? Specifically, to answer the question, no, I do not, because I can live with a little bit of damage. I'll just either disguise it, fix it, work with it. It doesn't matter to me unless it's, of course, something substantial where you can't hide it, or it's just kind of defeating the purpose to even have the piece because it's broken. But if it's got like a little nick or a little chip or a little something, I feel like that just adds more character to it, especially if it's got age to it. I mean, it's to be expected. It's not going to be in mint condition unless someone keeps it as mint condition. But when we're looking for the pieces that people used in their everyday life, it's kind of hard to find a piece that's completely spotless, right? So for me personally, no, I do not care. But when it comes to resale, I do want to care a little more. I want to make sure that there are no chips, there are no breaks, there are no anything that anyone else has to deal with. I want them to be able to receive it, or first I want them to fall in love with it and then receive it and open it and then get to experience it. And if you have damage to it, then it's not the same kind of experience. So I feel like when it comes to reselling damage, I might be very selective and only pick the pieces that are really worth selling, and you still get the full experience because maybe the chip is hidden or it's in somewhere that doesn't matter and stuff like that. So for me personally, no, I do not care. I don't mind damage. I like damage. Moving on to number 7. Do you remove prices from your products? Okay, so I am fully guilty of leaving prices on my products. So I have this cup, right? And we got it, threw it into the dishwasher. I got this thrifting, and it's one of those like wonky, like, you know, just like wobbly. I still can't figure out the maker of this stupid mug, which is not a stupid mug. I love this mug, but you know, the situation is stupid. I still can't figure out the maker of this mug, and it drives me absolutely crazy, right? But this, up until today, had the markings down at the bottom because we got it. It was for personal use. We threw it into the dishwasher, called it a day. And when you do that, it doesn't take off all the marker and stuff. So I washed it today by hand, and I was like, I can't believe I still have the price on it. So finally, I cleaned it off, and we've had this mug for like 2.5 months. So no, I'm totally guilty of leaving prices on pieces that are for my personal use. Now, when I sell products, then yes, I will do whatever it takes to get the price tag or the price off, because in places like Goodwill, they write it with permanent marker, which is not very smart. But they have to do that so that they can coordinate the price tag to the piece. If they don't match, then they go by what's written in marker because that's the price. Because anyone can take a tag from something else and stick it on there. But do I remove the prices from my products? Not all the time. No, I do not. If someone's gonna see it or something, it's definitely coming off. But if they're not, then it'll just stay. Number 8, what do you do with all your stuff? That is a good question. So I do 3 different things. 1, I use it. 2, I save it for later. 3, I sell it. I have a big thing for old pieces, and I have a big thing for pieces that fit my style, which for me, you look around my house and it kind of fluctuates a little bit, and I think it all matters what space you're in. When I find pieces that I want to use eventually in my home, I will either put them in their place because I know that's where I want it, or I'll put it into the attic and then switch it out because we're very visual people and we get tired of the same thing after a while. So I'll go up there and I'll shuffle through all my pieces and I'll get re-inspired and then redecorate a section. My husband and I are both very creative and visual people, and we feel like we get stuck. We need something to inspire us again. So I'll go and change up some areas or something until I really like it, and that's just what we do. So that is the initial buy. If I know where I'm gonna put it, I put it there. And if I don't know where I'm gonna put it, I put it in the attic. And then, because our attic isn't an attic, it's a bedroom inside of the attic. It can be temperature controlled, but we don't turn the AC on or anything like that up there because it's a closed room and it's insulated, so it's not like scorching hot like the attic is. So we put some of it up there on some shelves. The other stuff I sell in my Etsy store, and a lot of the pieces that I already had were wanting to go somewhere else, and I knew that I wanted to share them somehow with someone, but I was actually building up to having a store or like my own little boutique shop or something. But that's just gonna have to be way further ahead, right? Like we have plans, and I don't want to jinx them, so I'm not gonna just put them out there yet. But long story short, I sell them in my Etsy shop, and I do my best to make sure that I share quality pieces and clean them up and capture their personalities in the pictures and give you guys different scenarios and how you could use them, or kind of make you think outside the box on how to use them. Like some people like fancy dishes, but they're so scared to have them and use them on a regular basis. And I feel like, I don't care, just use it. Like if you like it, you love it, you want to use it, use it. If you want to use these silver fade etched gorgeous glamorous glasses that I have in my shop now for water every morning, then do it. I mean, you only live once, right? And everything can just be an experience. So experience your dishes, experience how it feels to drink out of something that's so beautiful, you know, every single day. I feel like I love these pieces, but they're not meant for me. So I want to share them with other people. And my thing is, I want to match the person to the piece. So when I put those pieces out there, I want to make sure that they're quality and they have personality and they can stand alone or be dressed up, be dressed down, and all that good stuff. So that's what I do with the last category of things. Number 8 involves a shop of some sort or reselling. Can you tell us what you sell, where, and why? So I kind of already went over all that. I jumped ahead. I sell on Etsy. I gave you the why, which is to pair the person to the piece, because I feel like a lot of these pieces call my attention, but they're not meant for me, so I want to pass them on. And sometimes it's hard to do that because I love all the things. So I take full advantage of having them for the time that I do, when I'm cleaning them and loving on them and taking pictures of them and capturing them in really great light and giving them a whole new life. It kind of lets me get my feel of them and then pass them on to the person that wants them. And they're definitely going off with some positive energy and love. So there's that. What is your first stop in the store? My first stop, okay, so if you've watched the channel for some time, hi guys, welcome back. If you're new here, then you don't know that I'm a little bit of a basket case. I love baskets. And the hubby's shaking his head yes and rolling his eyeballs. But I love baskets. I have baskets everywhere because they're so pretty. And there's so many different shades and they have so much texture, and there's old ones, new ones, and ones that you can turn into whatever you want, you know, by some simple spray paint to coordinate with your style. I don't know. I just love baskets. They're beautiful. And they're handmade, so I feel like someone took the time to do that. Like, that's pretty cool. So if I can make baskets, I would make my own baskets, but then I feel like it probably costs more money to make your baskets than to just buy baskets. So there's that. The basket section is always my first stop. And what is your second stop in the store? My second stop is always the cups and mugs. Basically because I love coffee mugs. And I always feel like there's going to be something cool and interesting there for me, but it's probably the most affordable section in the store to find really cool older pieces that someone's going to love. Recently, I found some really cool duck mugs that were totally vintage, and I know someone out there is going to love them because they are of a certain age, and then they're of a certain category or theme that people like. Father's Day is coming up, and someone's father that hunts is going to love something like that, right? Or someone's father that lived on, I don't know, lived on land and there's ducks or whatever. Anything like that. It's nostalgia, it's the thought, it's the memory. Anyway, long story short, that is the exact reason why I want to resell, and that is the exact reason why I care about the quality of the pieces that I do resell. How long can a trip last you? What? Huh? All day. All day. It can. Okay, so it can definitely take some time. But there's reasons for that. So I kind of just gauge it off of how much time I have available. If I'm by myself, the kids are in school, hubby's at work, I want to take my time. So I'll go through and look through all the sections first, and then I kind of do like a second, third, fifth trip around, because you never know what you're going to find. They're always bringing out new stuff. It could take from an easy 30 minutes if I'm like, I don't like anything that I'm seeing, to a good 2.5 hours where before you know it, it's like, holy crap, I gotta go. But a lot of the time it's because I'm trying to research while I'm in the store to see if something is even worth getting. Maybe it's something I don't know much about, so I'll do some research or whatever. Or actually I go through, find all the pieces that I think are cool, and then I'll put them into the cart, and I'll kind of park it somewhere and start doing some research. And then I inspect the items more in detail to make sure that there's no cracks or chips and things that I didn't notice if I can actually see them, you know, if they're not too grimy or something. And I'll have to eliminate a lot of the pieces before I actually leave the store. Like the other day I had a full cart of stuff, but the closer that I looked at it, there was a lot of chipping, there was a lot of, there was like subtle little cracks that I didn't notice in the initial, you know, grab and look at it, whatever. Or some just weren't even worth purchasing to ship because it just didn't make any sense. It was just, it'd be a waste of time basically. So it can last me a pretty good while in one trip, especially if you're doing multiple stores and you're finding multiple really cool pieces, because then there's a lot of research to do. What is your thrift? I love, and I'm looking past this way because our fireplace is right here. I'll put some pictures up or some overlays or something, but I love natural elements with mixed metals and fabrics and vintage pieces with a combination of some new pieces. I like to kind of coordinate a lot of different things to make them just want to work together. I love dark glass, like amber glass. I love olive, gray, and touches of terracotta, combining that with color. We like natural woods, dark woods, and baskets. I know it sounds like a lot going on, so I'm definitely going to give you guys some images to kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. And basically cozy. I love cozy. I like for the space that I'm in to feel cozy, lived in. When someone sits in it, they feel comfortable, like it's not so high maintenance, but it still looks good. Because you know how sometimes you go to people's houses and you're just like, I don't want to touch nothing because it all looks like it costs too much money. And you can't let your kids roam free. You know, you just gotta like, and don't touch nothing. Question 14. Do you watch other thrifting YouTubers, and what do you get out of watching them? So I do watch other thrifters, and I basically just get conversation out of them. I really don't even look at what they're buying. I kind of just listen, and it's background noise, and it's just a way to feel like you have conversation going on when you're busy and when you're doing things, so that, I don't know, you can relate to these different people, and you look at what they buy or you don't look at what they buy. You get good information or you don't. It's just, I watch other YouTubers thrifting because I like to thrift, and it just feels good to watch people do that and know that it's like a no judge zone. Like, you don't have to be rich, you don't have to be poor, you don't have to be snooty or, you know, not snooty. It's just a common area where someone's doing what you like to do. That's it. Number 15, who do you want to tag to do the same style of video? Tag them. I kind of think I already tagged people by creating the tags. So what you can do is, if you enjoyed this kind of video and there's a thrifter out there that you like to watch, maybe you can suggest to them that they watch our tag videos and see if it's something they want to participate in. Or if you've been debating or contemplating on starting your own channel, maybe you start it by creating a Thrifters tag video. Either way, let somebody know somewhere about the tag and the questions. They will all be left in the description box below. So whoever wants to create the content can actually go through and copy and paste the questions, or just read from our description box so that they can answer the questions too. Or maybe you can answer the questions too. All that being said, I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video, got some new insight into who and how we are in our own little ways and why we do things the way we do. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. My name is Paloma. This is the Bates House, and I am so glad that you guys decided to go ahead and click on this video and get to know me a little bit better. Comment down below, let us know if we answered any of the questions that you've been curious about. Again, share this video with anyone that you think would be willing to answer them for you guys, because of course sharing is caring, and you guys are the foundation to this community and others, so that we can all grow and just relate together. And don't forget to subscribe if you did enjoy. Now, I do have other content on my channel in my playlist section. I have a lot of organization, crafting, planner, thrifting, dollar store find videos that I think you guys will enjoy and get some inspiration from, especially in the times where I can't post regularly and I kind of fall off a little bit. But it's not for lack of trying or making sure that I create foundations in other areas that also involve you guys. You can follow me on my Facebook group, The Bates House, or on Instagram also at The Bates House. I do have a blog at bateshouse.blog. but there's no content there yet. I'm still analyzing and trying to find a purpose for the blog, but it is set aside, and it does have a little bit about me on there that you can follow and get notifications for, or the Etsy shop at Bates House in the shop section. Again, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.